Hello, hello, hello. Oh my god. And I was talking about stuff about the pose. Stuff that I was thinking about. That's okay. But yeah, I was just saying enjoying lunch, and my Saturday's been fairly fairly normal. And I was just saying weather is quite nice. You can hear me now, okay, good. Yeah, OBS is kind of, because I don't always have my mic plugged in. So sometimes I have to, I guess I have to re-input the settings for the audio channels. It's kind of annoying, but yeah, I was talking about horizon line because, you know, this is the camera is looking up, so the horizon line is quite low. I want to say it's somewhere around here, roughly. And I was saying how the way I figure out where the horizon line is that I just imagine that everything's hollow. And I imagine if I took a slice at a given point, would I be seeing the underside of it or the top side of it? Because wherever the horizon line is, let's say this is the horizon line, right? If something is above the horizon line, you're going to see the underside of it. Right, if that was your box. But if it's below the horizon line, you're going to see the top of it. Right, so I use this idea to kind of figure out where the horizon line is, if I need to. But I talked about that in my figures perspective. No, I can't remember. Figures, perspective, and composition video. I talk about that in there. If you want to learn a bit more about perspective. You like the commentary? Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I'm sure I'm sure it's useful. Right, so if I look at this, the reason I'm saying it's quite low, I mean, it's quite obvious because we're looking up at this person. But like at their hips, if you were to just make a slice, all right, this slice, right, I'm seeing the underside of it. So I know the horizon line is going to be below that, if that makes sense. But if, let's say, I take a slice out of here, I'm seeing the top of it. And so I kind of just like work my way up and down until I get to a point where if I were to take a slice, I wouldn't be seeing the top or the bottom. I'd be looking like directly at it. Oh, hello, Tay. How to find the horizon line? Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Is this mannequin for both man and female? Yes, it's the same thing, if that's what you mean. The only differences I make, or there's things I do to like exaggerate certain features. So for instance, the typical male template is just a rectangle. Okay, you can see it's pretty just a rectangle. Not the most interesting shape. If it comes to females, I like to I'll do this. So the hips are wider. Yeah, so this male, female. Okay, you don't have to do it. This is obviously very exaggerated, but I just like to do it. Right, you can make it wider. But that's the only real difference that I make when I'm drawing these mannequins. Or even males, you can, you could, oh, what happened? Okay, with males, you could make it triangular. So now it's going inwards. Okay, so this is basically a triangle. And then for males, you can do triangle if you want. It's obviously just play around with it. And see what you can do. But once you learn anatomy, you'll start to learn this stuff. Right, you can see that here. Like the hips really stick out. So why not exaggerate that? Okay. Yeah, I think I was muted, but I was talking about this arm. This arm over here, my left arm. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. But I'm imagining the forearm is completely blocked. Because I can see the hand here. That's the hand. But I can't see the forearm. One that you could do if you really want to challenge yourself is to take a pose, but draw it with a different camera lens. Not the easiest thing to do. But it's a good exercise if you want to train yourself to do that sort of thing. Yes, over here, I've really exaggerated the hips. And the back as well. I won't clean up, just so I can do more poses. So here we go, another foreshortening pose. Pretty difficult, this stuff. But the good thing is, if you understand how it works, you can kind of cheat. Like when you want to make stuff up from imagination with this camera lens, you just tell yourself that things really get narrow really quickly. Or like take the hand and just make it way larger, and it'll really sell the effect. But yeah, I haven't been practicing this enough. Actually, look at this. Yeah, slightly off, but it's okay. All right, let's see if I can do this one. All refs from that pack you mentioned. These are all from Pinterest. I was just browsing Pinterest and I just picked some poses that were interesting in that would probably push me a bit. Like I rarely draw foreshorts and poses. But yeah, just browsing on Pinterest and just saving stuff. No particular packs. But yeah, last week I did mention how to find collections of action poses and stuff like that. All right, this is, yeah, so it even makes it harder when they have clothes on. But let's give this a go. So yeah, again, I'm really trying to think of, well, I'm just trying to keep this in mind. Oops. That things are tapering downwards, or there's a vanishing point somewhere off the page. It's pretty tough. I was thinking of maybe doing some anatomy streams in the future. And I'll kind of just show everyone how I go about studying anatomy. It's really difficult. Because my brain just wants to draw things with a normal lens. But I have to fight the urge and stick with this. It's like a wide angle lens. You know how when you're a beginner, one of the biggest problems that you have is proportions, right? It's like, how do I get proportions right? But I think getting good proportions is just a matter of doing loads of drawings and getting your eye accustomed to those distances. And so I feel like I've gotten to that point. Like even if I don't have, even if a part of a reference was cut off, I could still figure out where something would go. And so that's just what my brain wants to do. Like I'll see the leg and I'll want to draw it. Using all the knowledge I've gained from drawing figures. Yeah, I think it's alright. I think you could be more foreshortened because it feels so foreshortened in the reference. But not bad. Okay, I think I mentioned this before. In this case, I think I might want to draw the hand before I draw the arm. I don't know if anyone's had the problem of like you draw your arms, but then the hands ends up being in the wrong place. So you can draw the hand first and then bring the arm to the hand. It's a pretty good technique. But yeah, it would also be cool to do some painting streams. I mean, I'm not a very good painter, but I do like it. Noted. Oh, by the hands, yeah. Good trick. All right, let me clean up this one a bit. Yeah, if you're just starting this, as in starting to draw with mannequins. I mean, obviously don't start with foreshortening poses. You're gonna have a hard time. You can just do poses like I did last week or something. I was just thinking about Tom Fox and how he draws these mannequins so fast. It's actually really impressive. As you can see, it takes me really long to draw this way. That's why I always draw with gesture first. It's just quicker for me. And always keep my hands lazy. And that's another stream I want to do. Some hand studies. Not like I've done in the past. Like really different. Not really different, but as in not so before when I've done hand studies, it's just copying the reference. And obviously that's good. But I need to learn how to draw them from imagination as well. And also stylized. I need to practice more stylized hands. Foreshortening being a pose that gives the illusion of depth. I guess you could say that. But when I say foreshortening, I just mean yeah, it is an illusion of depth. I mean, art is an illusion, pretty much. But foreshortening is just, let's say, this is a cylinder from a side view. And then here's like a 3/4 view maybe. Okay. And then, so when we say something is extremely foreshortened, it's like, okay, let's see if I can draw it. Like this. Okay, so this is the side view. Okay, so in the side view, you can see all of this, right? But as you rotate it, and we're starting to see the front face, the side, we're seeing less of it, and that's foreshortening. And then when you get stuff like this, where the side is barely visible, you would call that you would say it's very foreshortened. Right, and you can also compare sizes of stuff. So for instance, the hand here, right? Let's take the hand. And let's compare it with other parts of the body. All right, so the hand is bigger than the face. The hand is larger than the torso. And the hand is longer than the legs. So if this is happening, that means the pose is very foreshortened. All right, but you probably don't see that, right? You wouldn't I mean, your brain knows that obviously the hand is not larger than the torso, but that's just an effect of foreshortening. But yeah, that's all foreshortening is. It's just seeing less and less of something. Look forward to hand studies, yeah. Stylus hand will be very fun. Thanks for the tips, no worries. I understand, good, good, good. I have difficult to draw a head like a box. Do you have any tips to help me? It's a lovely pose, but avoiding it because it's quite difficult and obscure. Love that you traced it to give clarity. Yeah, always draw up your poses and see what's going on. Yeah, the details are distracting. Yeah, so draw a head. So here's my secret, right? Yeah, it's not really a secret, but so this angle here, this is quite hard. So I mean, I did it differently over here, but so let's see. I mean, it's that you can kind of see the side of the head, but not really. So it makes it quite hard to draw. But yeah, if you're drawing the head, so this is the secret, right? As long as it's not like facing you directly like this, you can use this trick. So what I do is I take the angle, this angle, okay, of the head, and then the angle of the top of the head. And that's how I establish my box. Okay, so obviously it's a bit different in my drawing, but that's what I look for. I find this angle, then I do that angle, and now I have most of the information I need to get me started. Okay. And you can do that with heads from imagination, I suppose, to say. Okay, just 2 lines. Now I'll draw the chin. Okay, there's my box head. Let's try this angle. Yeah, does that make sense? So I'm drawing this and this. And then I draw the rest. Yeah, you can do that with any, as long as it's not a front view, you can do this. The angle of the face, the angle of the top of the head. And that should help. But otherwise, what else would help? Just drawing boxes. Draw boxes from imagination. But I hope that was helpful. Okay, let's move on. All right, I was really unsure if I should be doing this pose. Okay, so even here, let me show you. So that's the side. So we can't really see the top. So these ones are harder. Right, the angle is very tight. but in most cases, it does help me. So this side, the top of the head, something like that. Yeah, that's what I do. Even not just with the box heads. I do that with actual heads as well. When I draw heads, I'll get those two angles down. And I like to draw a circle. So basically what I'm doing is I'm learning the complicated stuff first, and then I learn ways to simplify. Yeah. So that's where the brow ridge is. Yeah, this is how I sketch heads. I've been doing 5-minute heads sketches because I'm not really interested in like the super rendered stuff. I'll do it once in a while, but most of the time I just want to sketch heads real quickly. And obviously the proportions could be wrong. But that's what the transformation tool is for. But yeah, maybe I should make a video about the simple way to sketch heads or something. I mean, I've still got a lot to learn. Okay, let's try this one. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I mean, if it wasn't obvious, it's really foreshortened. I mean, the camera lens is very wide as well, but it's very cool pose. Skater poses they're good. They're good to study with, and they're very easy to find on Pinterest. So yeah, again with foreshortening. Let's take the thing that's closest to us, or closest to the camera, and then you can compare it with other stuff. So that's the shoe size, roughly. Compare it to his head. Right? Here's the shoe size. Compare it to his head. His head looks tiny compared to the shoe size. But your brain might not pick that up. And then you might end up just drawing their head just bigger than it should be, according to the reference. So yeah, those are things you have to observe. So whenever I attempt to draw foreshortened poses, there's other things I have to rely on. So I don't always draw the figure in the same way every time. Okay, let's try this. My god, look how small the arm is. See, without reference, I'd be tempted to just draw it bigger. Hello, Victorious Blade. I've been watching you recently. Your tips are very helpful. Thank you for your work. Oh, thank you. I'm glad they are useful. And of course, thank you for watching. Yeah, I like making those videos because it forces me to just take all this knowledge that I have scattered everywhere that I've learned from like videos and whatever, and just like make it into a short video. And it's also a good way of checking that you understand the stuff that you learnt, which is good. Maybe it's like when I was younger, you just read a book and then summarize it. I never did those. It's like, read this book and then I want a report by Monday. And then everyone just goes to the back of the book and just copies the synopsis. Is that what it's called? But one thing I remember is my teacher always used to make fun of my hand. Well, she always used to tell me my handwriting was very bad. I think my handwriting is better now. So one thing you can do is find a simple shape. So you can fit a nice triangle in there. Right, and the good thing about triangles is that, like, that triangle that I just drew, it's, I don't know. The angles are very specific, so it's good for checking proportions. And I mentioned how Almador loves using triangles. And I understand why now. Yeah, let me show you the hand studies I've been doing actually. It's just copying hands from Disney movies. And I'm using, what do you call that? Lines without any line weight variation. So like, it's not the best brush to use. It's hard to make it look good, but it's good. So yeah, all I do is I just have the screen caps of like Disney movies, because Disney hands they're really good, and I just copy them, and that's it. And I've started to notice where artists get their hands from, and a lot of them get them from Disney. Obviously, I know everyone is not really into the cartoony styles, but it's good. It's good to at least like study once. Yeah, the head angle is very foreshortened. Yeah, definitely is not a beginner pose. I think I should pull this leg slightly down. Okay. A little bit of cheesing didn't hurt anyone. Let's clean up this one. How long have we been streaming? Almost an hour, okay. Had to avoid a tangent just there. And for those of you who don't know what a tangent is, it's like so we have a frame for your composition. Let's say we have a person here, and they're holding an umbrella. Right? But you see how the umbrella's touching the corner of the frame? That's a tangent. Right? You want to avoid doing that. It's not good for selling the illusion of depth. All right, so you don't want two lines just touching, because it'll be confusing to the viewer of what's in front and what's in behind. That is not right. I wonder, what is your goals? Are you trying to get a specific job in the industry or be a freelancer or entrepreneur? So I would like to get a job in industry as a storyboard artist. So that's what I've been learning. So storyboard artist / character designer. Those are my two things that I'm going for. And from what I understand, there aren't that many character design jobs. So I want to make sure that I get good at storyboarding, which right now I barely know anything. But yeah, I mean, you could work freelance in the industry too. But excuse me. I would like to just get into a studio so that I can like be around professionals and then learn from them. I've had a lot of artists that do that and then they go freelance. Right? They've been in the professional environment and then I guess they move on to other projects. So yeah, ideally I would like to get into the industry. Because there's a lot of people in the industry that people don't know about, but they're really good. And so like, having the opportunity to be around those people, that would be amazing. Right, because these aren't artists that really post on Instagram and stuff. Yeah, so what I'm doing now is just trying to draw more stuff for a portfolio and just more storyboarding and then start posting some animatics. And then hopefully I've got to make connections, right? You should share your storytelling perspective in character design studies. Storytelling, it's very... There's not much going on yet. Because storytelling is difficult. And then that's why I hear there's quite a demand for storyboarding, because it's quite difficult. Let's have a look. So right now what I'm doing is doing these reverse storyboards. Hold on. Right, so I do stuff like this to practice. So I'll find something that I like, and then I'll storyboard it in reverse. So I'll think about the composition, the timing, the pacing, the camera angles. Like, what does all this stuff add to the story? So I don't feel like this is very interesting. The drawings aren't very good because they're not supposed to be good anyway. But yeah, this is what I'm doing at the moment. Soon I hope to start to get myself a script and then try and storyboard something on my own. But yeah, this is what my storyboarding stuff looks like right now. Perspective, I don't really do perspective studies. I should for storyboarding. And for character designs, I'm still learning how to do that. My biggest weakness is shape design, and that's a that's a big deal when it comes to character designs. And I've started doing post sheets as well. Yeah. So any character design studies or storytelling stuff will be on my Instagram. I probably won't post it to my YouTube. And just because I don't know how interesting it would be, and also I don't know if I could teach it in some way. But yeah, eventually. All right, that looks good. Let's see. Let's do some. What about you, Samuel? What are you going for? Or anyone else in chat? If you have an idea. I mean, I know when I started, I didn't really have an idea of what I wanted to do. I mean, I just liked everything. And once you get to try things a little bit, you start to notice things you like. And so, I don't know how to say your name. Xian Chi? Oh, it's Eri. Hello, hello. How's it going? Welcome in. I feel storyboarding is hard because you need to know the figure, perspective, lighting, cinematography, and be able to pull all these things. Yeah, you're absolutely right. As a storyboard artist, you have so many roles rolled into one. Even add character design to this as well. So yeah, I've been studying the figure a ton. And I've got to the point where I can kind of draw things from imagination. So yeah, now I'm at the point where I'm just kind of building poses into my mental library. Yeah, lighting, all the stuff I've learned from painting has been very helpful. Cinematography, I actually did I did do some videography for a while, very amateur. But I did learn a few things, and so like that carries over. But yeah, I'm learning more about that as well, different kind of camera shots, and I'm watching TV shows and movies with a more critical eye. Like I'm thinking about why did they choose this angle, and why is it composed in this way? Yeah, so every time I watched movies and whatever, I see different things now. Yes. How are you, Yeri? How's the site? You said you launched it the other day, right? But yeah, I love story. That's why I want a storyboard. Anytime I see like storyboards on Instagram, I just get so excited. I was like, I want to do that. So cool. There is this one artist, I can't say his name. As in I don't know how to pronounce it. This this Nigerian person, and they have one of the like amazing storyboards. They're so cool. It really makes you wonder how people do that. Because it was like you said, you really need to learn how to draw figures properly, and you're not going to have the luxury of reference. You're doing well. I'm glad to hear it. What about me? I'm doing good. I'm doing good. We are drawing figures here. My biggest weakness is I have no idea what I want. I like animation, design, painting, can't decide what to do. And since I'm an entrepreneur, I do whatever I want. It doesn't help that I don't have a pick. Yeah, I mean, it'll come with time. I think there will be something that you lean towards more strongly. Like I do want to try animation, but it's not something that I want to pursue. Painting, I enjoy, but it's not something that I really want to pursue. I don't want to be like some kind of professional painter, in the sense of like rendering stuff. So like realistic details, if that makes sense. But I do enjoy painting. However, when it comes to like story and character design, those things I do really enjoy, and I have a desire to get good at those and get my skills to a professional level. It's been Saturday level 3, yeah. Yeah, I think it'll come with time. I mean, if you know modern day James, when he first started out, or as far as I know, he seems to be into like very concept art stuff. I remember him drawing mech. And now he does animation. So things can change. You just kind of discover yourself a bit. I'm just generally simplicity appeals to me. And that's what I like about like cartoony styles. It's very simplified. And even when it comes to painting, I like painters who simplify their subjects or whatever they're painting, and not rendering it to very high details. Right, I was just showing Appy a painting by Lane Brown, and like you zoom in on the painting, and you look at the eye is just, it's like 1 or 2 brush strokes. I really love that. Like that kind of thing is very difficult to pull off. It's much easier to just paint what you see or draw what you see rather than simplifying it. Simplifying takes some work on your end to really see things in a different way. Yeah, so speaking of Le Brown, I do love his paintings. Like if I could learn how to be like that, that would be amazing. I had Lane Brown. I wonder how to draw anime faces in cartoon. Anime faces, it's all about shape, right? So once you get into anime and cartoon, you're thinking about shape. Shape is so important. It's probably the most important thing about drawing cartoon. Shape. And if you learn how to draw real heads, drawing cartoon faces will be easier. That person, Taco, they have some very good stuff about drawing anime faces. Yeah, stroke economy. Remember watching all your paints to draw a tree. There's a few strokes and a bit around the air. It's amazing how an artist can reduce what they're looking at to something so simple. It's amazing. As soon as you see that, it changes your perspective. Yeah. Even Marco Bucci like quoted someone saying that simplifying is harder. The same goes with cartoon. People usually think that cartoon is easy to draw. It's not. It looks easy on the outside because people did all the work to simplify it for you. But cartoon is not easy. I've been trying to learn to draw from imagination for years. Only recently I've been making some improvements. It seems learning from perspective, shape design, and proportions are the key ingredient. Yeah. Good shape, proportions, perspective, for sure. And a simple way of drawing the figure. That is very key. It was key for me. If the way you draw a figure, that you've learned to draw a figure right now is quite complicated, it's going to be harder to draw from imagination. Oh, Gaurav, welcome. How's it going? Remember myself zooming in and sketching in pictures like good old days. Oh, did you used to do that? I don't remember you doing that. Was that on Twitch? Proportions that are hardest. Yeah, I guess so. Well, maybe not. I don't know about the hardest. I don't know, but it is hard. It is hard. But yeah, I was just saying earlier, if you're good at proportions, you just draw a lot, so that the proportions just become second nature to you, even without a reference. Or if part of the reference was like cut off or something, you should be able to figure out what the rest of the figure would look like. Arm is too short. You just finished eating? Yeah, I'm doing good. Are you rested now, yeah? Learning to draw the figure gets way easier if you can draw simple shapes to make them more, yeah. Build off simplicity. It makes sense, right? Simple is simpler. Been taking account of straight C's and S curves, yeah. Sometimes I forget. You're trying to use more references, don't you? Yeah, definitely use reference. I still use reference. You can't always draw from imagination unless you've been drawing forever or something, I don't know. But you want to try and draw from imagination, but you also want to learn new poses. So you just mix it up. Try draw from imagination while still using references from time to time. Because these skating poses, I don't know anything about. So if I try to draw them from imagination, probably wouldn't be very good. Probably enough time you develop rhythm. Onko was putting a lot of emphasis on drawing from life because you teach yourself to capture the moment quickly and focus, yeah. Every morning, I always draw from reference. With the reference, yeah. It's true. I've never done it. I've never drawn from life in that way. I've only drawn from photos. I would really like to go to a live drawing session and see how it's different. I'm too picky with reference. If something didn't feel right, I won't use it. I go with imagination and basic shapes. I mean, you just use reference as a starting point. But yeah, it's good. It's good that you're training yourself. Let's try and clean this up a bit. But yeah, definitely don't abandon a reference. Unless your name is Kim Jong-gi. In which case, feel free. But I think even he said that he has to use reference. Or at least he has to like spend time looking at something. Like he can't just go in. If it's something new, you can't just go in. He has to like look at it for a bit. And then once he's like observed what he's looking at, then he doesn't need to go back and look at it again. It's pretty wild. I think he went in the corner of the street with the mini watercoloring kit and painted. Oh, Makabuchi. Yeah, I see a lot of people do that. Is it not? Well, on YouTube, not outside. I don't think I've seen anyone in my life who went outside to paint. Maybe they were just very discreet or something. Goes to the art museum, sees it. No way. Could you imagine? Actually, I haven't been to an art museum since I started drawing. Little does he know I'm behind him sketching. Oh, you're there as well? Okay, let's move on. Let's maybe do one more. You want to get into a museum? Was there something stopping you? Are there barriers? I actually kind of find these running poses when it's like right towards you kind of difficult. But now I've kind of committed to memory, like what's going on. So I don't have to rely on my reference. I kind of just cheat. That's what about those cheats? Oh, you don't have many. I see. I mean, there's Google Museum, right? Or what's it called? Google Arts and Culture? I mean, it's not the same thing, but you have like a virtual museum, which I think took off after the pandemic as well. Yeah, if you don't know, I think it's called Google Arts and Culture. Where you can do a virtual tour of a museum. Yeah, I just can't remember what it's called. But yeah, there are... you can take virtual tours of museums for free. I'm just having trouble remembering. But yeah, try Google Arts and Culture. We joke about sketching in the museum. I remember seeing it all the time. Yeah. And then sometimes they have like high res photos, which is nice. I will see. Yeah, have a look. And let me know. if what I'm saying is actually true. I mean, I know it's true because I did it a few times because I was looking for, I was doing some code studies and I wanted to draw some stuff from like a different period. And like the only way to get references of like fashion from different time periods, well, one of the best ways is to find a museum. And then I came across Google, like a virtual museum. It's like, this is really cool. I don't want this. Let me start again. Okay. This stuff seems interesting. Oh, so you found it. That's good. Also, Hades' question: where do you add the twists in the body? I tried drawing boxes, but solid boxes are hard to make look dynamic. When you say add twists in the body, like the one you see here right now, this is cool. Solid boxes. I mean, normally if I'm going to draw a figure, I always go for gesture. So right now I'm using gesture to help me like inform my decisions about stuff. So for instance, like this leg. I mean, a cylinder isn't this curve, right? But I just did it anyway because I think it looks better. But in the torso, where do I add the twists? I don't think I really understand what you mean. Where do you add the twists? So you're drawing boxes, but solid boxes are hard to make look dynamic. So do you mean like squishing and stuff of the box itself? Like if you're taking a box. Yeah, it's hard. I don't know. I usually go with I let the gesture inform me. But there is a website actually. I put it in my Discord. If you go to my Discord, there's a website that I added in resources, I think. If I have a resources channel. There's actually a website that has 3D models of like twisted boxes and stuff. So if you go there, you can find, you can have some twisted boxes from reference. But actually, let me go back to what I've done. Maybe there's something we can look at. Not so much here. Okay, so this one. So this one. Because in reference I can see like the arms are like pulling back. So I thought it'd be good to add this curve to the box. Maybe it's cylinder in between. But you see the box for the pelvis is a solid triangle, but the shape above, it looks very dynamic. I don't know how to do that properly. Proportions, okay. Yeah, so that, I'm using my knowledge from just normal figure drawing. Where am I? I mean, there's not much dynamic about it. It's very subtle. But yeah, I'm using my knowledge from drawing figures to help me with this part, which I guess you're not going to have if you haven't done lots of figure drawings. Right, if you've got a torso, and then you have like the skin or the fat. Yeah, I use this stuff to help me. So I don't know if that's helpful. So yeah, basically, it's from actual figure drawing instead of with boxes. I mean, I've seen yours though. They look good. They do look dynamic. Maybe it's in your head. All right, let's finish this up. You're gonna enhance, nice. Yeah, find references, or just like find life drawing poses, and find like people of all sorts of body types, and like obviously ideally where the torso is like moving, is like squished or whatever, and just see how like the skin folds and stuff like that. And or how the folds even like kind of follow the twist. I mean, if I could find reference right now. Yeah, I have that too. You're not the only one. Yeah, I think it's just because you know, you're getting good, and you kind of hit a wall, or maybe you're just used to seeing your work. That's good that you're thinking that way, because it's gonna make you push forward. Right, that's happened with me loads of times with figure drawing. In fact, let me see if I can find my old figure drawings. I think they're on my hard drive. Yeah, I think they're my hard drive. But yeah, my old figure drawings are, at the time I thought, wow, I'm making progress, and I was making progress. But you get to a point where you start to see the mistakes in the work that you make, in your drawings, and I think that just keeps happening. You see the mistakes, and that makes you want to progress and learn something new. You'll never be happy with your own. It's a constant battle, yeah. The artist's journey. I'll figure out, I guess, with figures. It's a long progress, yeah. I don't know who you learn figures from. But if you feel stuck, try a different teacher, instructor, like a different book or something. I don't know if it was you who mentioned Loomis last time. You could try Loomis. See how Loomis draws. Glenn Villapoo. I'm not sure how to say it. It has videos on YouTube. They've got books. There's Steve Houston. There's also figure drawing instructors, and you kind of just like look at how they draw, and you just pick stuff out, and it helps you improve. That's what I do. I learn stuff from one instructor, and then once I feel like I've kind of plateaued, I'll go to a different instructor and see how they approach things, and then eventually you bring it all together into one thing. That's what my process has been like. Are you going to the Lightbox Expo? Is there a Lightbox Expo in the UK? I don't think it's not in the UK, is it? So yeah, probably not. But I would like to go, just to any expo, because I've never been to any. Google mostly with Pinterest to try a bunch of artists. Currently not following anyone in particular. Yeah, have a look around of like good figure drawing instructors, and see what you can learn. You'll learn something new. So at the very beginning, it was Proco. I learned some stuff from Proco. It was alright. And then after that, I kind of stopped doing figure drawing, and I was just doing Drawbox instead. And then after that, I can't remember, but I know Will Weston and Michael Hampton were the two that really got me started. I feel like I made a lot of progress once I read their books. Well, not their books, sorry, Michael Hampton's book and Will Weston's Instagram, all his notes. I learned a lot from that. And then I came across Mike Matese and his force drawings. So like all the stuff I learned from like Michael Hampton and Will Weston is still there. But now like I go to a different instructor and learn what they have to say. So that's been my process. So I'm always curious to learn different ways of drawing the figure. But yeah, we're all done here. Good stream. I still got 3 more poses. Maybe we'll do it next week. Maybe we'll do something else next week. I don't know. But yeah, nice chill stream. I really challenged myself with these foreshortening poses. And like I know this pose looks simple, but for a long time I really found it difficult. I still do. But yeah, this is one. Will Rushman record on the figure is so good. Oh right, on his website, yeah. Definitely. Thanks for the stream. Yeah, no problem, happy. Tucker, Tom Fox, and Dr. Draw are my favorite for drawing the figure. Yeah, there's so many people. You just go to them and just learn their method and see how it works out for you. But yeah, have a good rest of your day, everyone, and I'll see you next week at the very